Hey, everybody, and welcome to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. This is Katie Weaver, and I'm here with my co host, sister, and partner in crime, Christy Brower, here for a special pop up update show in the Gabby Petito case. So, Christy, hello.
Hello, we're back.
Are you guys
There's
tired of
just
us yet?
there's just things are moving so fast with this, you guys.
Oh my goodness, it's wild, and there seems to be some things happening right now, so we are here.
Yeah.
Uh, a couple of things that have happened today. Uh, Brian's sister, Gabby's whatever significant other, I don't know how to quantify him at this point.
Yeah, well, yeah, her soon to be sister-in-law or was.
Yeah, made a statement about this situation. She didn't really seem to know very much, honestly, except for that she made one weird slip up
She did.
uh, when they asked her about him driving the van home, and she said she didn't know he drove the van home, that she was under the assumption that he had flown like last time, and then really caught herself and went, "Oh, I don't think I should talk about that. That's police stuff. I shouldn't talk about that."
Yeah.
Which was weird, but we
Yeah.
do. There is an understanding that he did fly home sometime in August for 5 days and then fly back to Salt Lake. So
Yeah, and we don't
anyway,
know why necessarily. We don't really know
mm,
what's happening there.
yeah. And then there was a press alert or a presser scheduled in Grand Teton National Park that was very abruptly canceled. And as it was canceled, police marched into Brian Laundrie's house.
Yeah.
So and there's a TikTok that came out that we thought was very useful. So we're gonna do two things. We want to show you this TikTok first, and then we're gonna cut over to some live streaming going on at Brian's house currently.
Well, and we also want to say that there's been a public statement made by the police that
Yes,
there is no connection between the murders in Moab and the
and Gabby's
disappearance
kid.
of Gabby
Yeah.
Petito. They know something. I think it's quite clear that
Mm-hmm.
they know something. They've had the van for a few days. They've been processing that van. They've been processing
Mm-hmm.
electronics. So
Yep. Yep. So
yeah,
big
but
stuff happening right now, and that's why we're here. But yeah,
let's
so should we
play
take
this
a look
here
at this
TikTok.
TikTok? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, do I? There we go.
Miranda Baker, and on August 29th, my boyfriend and I picked up Brian at Grand Teton National Park at 5:30 at night at Coulter Bay. I'm hoping this can help someone identify him because I saw him from TikTok, which then made me call the authorities, and my boyfriend and I have been in contact with a bunch of different people to help piece together different parts of this case. But we picked him up at Coulter Bay, like I said, at 5:30. He approached us asking us for a ride because he needed to go to Jackson, which we were going to Jackson that night. So I said, hop in. He hopped in the back of my Jeep. We then, proceeded to make small talk. But before he came in the car, he offered to pay us like $200 to give him a ride, like 10 miles. So that was kind of weird. He then told us he's been camping for multiple days without his fiance. He did say he had a fiance, and that she was working on their social media page back at their van. Then once, in conversation, I brought up, yep, we're going to Jackson. He freaked out. He's like, nope, I need to get out right now. Pull over. So we pulled over at the Jackson Dam, which I don't know if you know Teton Park, but it's not very far from Coulter Bay. And if this does reach people, I can post pictures of exactly where we picked him up and the whole route or whatever, and screenshots of the timestamps. We dropped him off at 6:09 p.m. on August 29th. He kind of hurried out of the car, and then he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go find someone else to hitchhike. And we're like, okay. It was a weird situation. So when we picked him up, he was wearing a backpack. He had a long sleeve pants, hiking boots, and he had scruff. but he didn't look dirty. For someone who was camping for multiple days, like, he didn't look dirty. He didn't smell dirty. So that part was kind of weird. And I'm just really hoping that they find her. And this helps someone, like, remember seeing him or, you know, something like that. Hi, my name is Miranda Baker, and on August...
Okay.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
It is. It's weird
yeah.
because why did he freak out that they were going to Jackson?
Yeah.
Where else would you go from there?
Right.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, we're going to show you. Actually, I'm just going to add that stream right now.
Yeah.
With the sound off for right now so that you can see what is happening at Brian Laundrie's house right now. So police did enter their house. There's lots of protesters outside of the house. We don't know exactly if it's FBI or if it's the local county police. We are not sure who is in the house.
No, but 2 officers were there initially, and this was about 30 minutes ago that the police first showed up. 1 minute ago, a 3rd police officer came in.
Yes.
And entered the house. So this is just, it's just playing out right now.
Yeah. But the whole thing on the 29th, because something else came out today, that a store clerk in Victor, Idaho, identified Gabby and Brian coming into her store. So there's a large pass, a mountain pass that separates Idaho and Wyoming right there. It's called the Jackson Pass. It's probably called something else, but we all call it the Jackson Pass. So they went over the pass into Idaho. The first little town there is Victor. They went into a little store there. They talked to the store clerk. They said they wanted to go to Yellowstone Park. Now, this is weird because they were literally almost to Yellowstone Park, where they were in Grand Teton National Park.
Yeah.
But that was the east entrance to Grand Teton National Park. She gave them directions to the west entrance, which is a solid 2.5, 3 hour drive from where they were.
Yeah.
Rather than where they had been supposedly staying. But Gabby was alive and well on that day. So there's real questions now about, could she even be in Grand Teton National Park? Did he go back there? We don't know.
We don't, because if they went to Yellowstone, and yet if Brian was back and with these guys on the, in the car with these guys on the 29th, I mean, not that these drives couldn't be done in a day. They could, if they left Victor, they would have driven on Highway 33 all the way to Sugar City, Idaho, which would be about an hour's drive. And then, or a little less. And then they would have headed up Highway 20 all the way to the park, which would be an additional hour's drive-ish, and enter the park on the west rim or the west side. Now, why would they do that? Except for that there are some things along the way that a lot of tourists like to go to, like Cave Falls or Mesa Falls. It's possible that there were some things they wanted to see heading in there.
But I just figured something out about this timeline. They were seen in Victor on the 25th or 26th.
Yeah.
This girl saw them at Coulter Bay in Grand Teton National Park on the 29th, or saw him.
Right. So they would have had plenty of time.
They either went all the way around and came back out the west entrance, or they went back over the Jackson Pass back into Grand Teton National Park.
Right. They either never went to west and went back. Right. Which the FBI and the Park Service, they will know.
A couple of people just came out of the house that look like officers.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks like police officers. coming out of the house. Now what? We don't know what the intent was going into the house. If it was just going to try to talk, if they had a warrant, if they're going to try to arrest him. There's been no communication about what that might be.
No, but also there is a lot of there's a lot of people they're protesting and people that are right up on their lawn. You know, it's also possible that they are calling the police, you know, worried about their own safety because they do have a lot of people they're protesting.
And they're like right up at their door and stuff. They're definitely
like on their property. Yeah.
Not where they're supposed to be. There's someone. Oh, what?
Oh, I was just going to say, no, JR, that's not the journalist that was questioning Lori Vallow. This is happening in Florida.
Yeah, this is in Florida at Brian Laundrie's house. Mm-hmm. I know this is also confusing because there's so much. Oh, everybody's turning. What's going on? Oh, more officers coming back. One officer coming back.
That's so weird. So they left the house and went out to the road.
And came back. Well,
one down the street, and then one came back. And there's still, I believe, one in the house because there were 3 officers.
There were 3. Yeah.
Oh, now we have. Oh, here comes the next guy pushing everybody back.
They shouldn't be on their property.
No, they should not. I'm amazed that they are.
They could start arresting all of them for being on the property.
Trespassing. Yeah.
Well, and why are they getting in the way like that? Like, fine, live stream this. We want to know what's going on, but
yeah.
So there's people talking and stuff, but it's mostly at this point, it's not useful information. That's why I just kept it muted it's just, people talking about wanting to bring her home. And there's a woman with a bullhorn screaming, "Where is Gabby?"
Okay. So Brian Enton just reported that they took an evidence bag into the house.
Okay. That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Bianca says people sure are acting guilty until proven innocent here. Yeah. But it's his own fault for acting and doing things so shady. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember all the people who were surrounding Casey Anthony's mom and dad's house? Yeah, it's a very similar deal. Mm-hmm. Well, and it's very weird that the sister doesn't know anything. Like no one, they're not talking to their own family. Even.
Right.
They're not talking to anybody.
Right. When she was asked, a little more about the case, she said she just really wishes she could talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has not spoken to him. She didn't know that he drove the van back. Like she doesn't know anything really. They were, getting some follow-up sort of about their relationship and stuff, but they have, why would you do it this way?
Yeah.
So now this officer is basically holding them all back.
Yeah.
And they came in with an evidence bag. So what is that for? One thing they have not located is her phone.
Yeah.
Do you just think about like, okay, what would a single evidence bag be for?
Yeah.
So that gives us some weird stuff.
Also, with this size of a crowd, with only 3 officers there, I would be very surprised to see them bring him out.
Yeah,
I'm going to assume that his attorney is there, and whatever they're doing there.
Well, apparently there was supposed to be a vigil tonight. Mm-hmm. And right before the vigil, here, we'll pull this off till it comes back. Right before the vigil is when the police showed up at the house. Mm-hmm. So there were a lot of people around protesting and stuff because of the vigil.
Right. Yeah. And that's just grown and grown now since they've got more people there.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. So they're on a commercial break. That's why they're not live streaming. So I'll wait till they're live streaming and we'll put you back up. So you don't have to watch Fox 29 Philadelphia's commercials or whatever. Oh my goodness. But I'm so confused now about what were they doing in Victor on the 25th or 26th?
Well, and back to this house for just a minute. The
Mhm.
reporters were really surprised that anyone answered the door when the police showed up because they didn't think that anybody was there. And it's still
Yeah.
very possible that Brian is not there.
It's possible. It's also possible that this was planned and that they knew they were coming
Mm-hmm.
and that there had been some sort of arrangement made to have a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that he has refused to speak to the police up to this point
Mm-hmm.
is just, it's so damning. Like it's like, does this dude not get how guilty he is making himself look by
Right.
not helping locate her? You know, you
Yeah.
can't, he's done something. How could he
Yeah.
not have? This is not how innocent people behave.
No. No, it's not. It's really weird.
Yeah. Okay, live stream's back up. Yes, there's been awesome outpouring of support, and I agree. We need this kind of support every time someone goes missing.
Right.
This is a
This
white
whole
girl,
case.
and we know, you know, could he have hurt himself? When the Stephanie, are you talking about when they were in Moab and they had that thing with the police? Let me know in the chat.
Yeah. But yes, I sure wish that our MMIW cases got this kind of outcry.
Right.
It would change everything.
Yeah, the tide is against him, and it's a strong tide. It is a strong tide. Yes. You know, Gabby admitted to doing those very light scratches to him. He was so minimally injured, it was ridiculous. He wasn't really injured at all. And part of that was her trying to get his attention that the police were behind them and he needed to pull over.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That body cam video is just infuriating.
Oh boy, that's tough to watch. Holy crap.
Yeah, it really, really is.
Yeah, so this okay, so we have two police officers out here. Now, provided that there's just still the three there that were initially there, there's one officer in the house.
Yeah.
And two out here to keep the peace, which it wouldn't surprise me at all for Brian's family to have called the police, considering that there were protesters on their lawn, you know?
Right.
They might be concerned for their own safety at this point, and they maybe should be.
Well, you know, people have had enough of this shit.
Well,
What
there
does
was
he
also
know?
a
Where
report
is she?
today that there may have been an altercation between Brian and Gabby's dad the night before they filed the missing persons report.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me because I
Looks
would
like
imagine
they actually made contact and it was not pleasant the night before.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine being Gabby's dad?
No.
And being like, you're engaged to my daughter. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Where is she?
Yeah.
Because their behavior right now is just shocking.
Yeah. It's very sus. Yep. Yep. So we don't know if this, what they're doing there is going to turn fruit yet or not, but we do know that things seem to be happening.
Yeah. Yeah, they sure do. Stuff, you know, they obviously know some things.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to say that the other two murders are unrelated.
Yeah.
Which doesn't surprise me. You know, we called that already, that we did not think that they were related. It's just a very creepy
coincidence.
Yeah. But
yes.
I'm going to cover that case for my pop-up tomorrow.
Awesome.
So that we can just have a clearer picture about that case and what happened and what we know.
Yeah.
And where the investigation is at with it, because I think it's a good one to talk about for many reasons.
Yeah. No, I think that's really good. That I don't know why we didn't cover that one in the first place. Probably just because it's so new. We don't
I thought about it
necessarily
several
take new
times.
cases.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except sometimes when we do.
Except for this time. Yeah.
There was some communication from them to a friend that really indicated to me that there was some guy kind of stalking them and freaking them out that would have gone on longer than what Gabby and Brian were present there for.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing that just really didn't sit right with me. If it was somebody, they met them at that bar.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think that that's the way the communication would have gone. It does not jive for me.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. So Gabby's parents released a letter that they had written to Brian's parents.
Oh, yes.
And I'm going to read that to you guys. It said, Christopher and Roberta Laundrie, we are writing this letter to ask you to help find our daughter. We understand you are going through a difficult time and your instinct is to protect your son. We ask you to put yourselves in our shoes. We haven't been able to sleep or eat and our lives are falling apart. We believe you know the location where Brian left Gabby. We beg you to tell us. As a parent, how could you let us go through this pain and not help us? As a parent, how could you put Gabby's younger brothers and sisters through this?
Yeah.
Gabby lived with you for over a year. She was going to be your daughter-in-law. How can you keep her location hidden? You were both at Jim and Nicole's house. You were both so happy that Brian and Gabby got engaged and were planning to spend their lives together. Please, if you or your family have any decency left, please tell us where Gabby is located. Tell us if we are even looking in the right place. All we want is for Gabby to come home. Please help us make that happen. From the Petito and Schmidt families.
Yeah. Can you imagine how this must be feeling for them? And knowing that these guys have to know something, right? Ugh.
Yeah.
Bianca says, on a side note, I've seen some TikToks of mediums scolding other mediums for giving readings on this situation. That's why I respect you guys. You have great ethics. Thank you.
Thank
we
you.
sure try to, we want to help a situation, not hurt it and not hurt people.
For sure.
It's hard. We want to cover these things, but we don't ever want to intrude. You kind of look at these people standing outside, screaming outside these people's house. And I'm like, is this really the best use of your time? I don't know.
Right.
I'm not sure, that harassing them and their entire neighborhood is going to help.
Right. Totally. No. And sometimes the public may get in the way, and we shouldn't. We should make every effort to not get in the way.
Right. Most definitely. We want to stand back and, report and give analysis and stuff. But yeah, no, we don't ever want to get in the way.
No, that would be very wrong and not good for the families, not helpful at all.
No. Someone said there is a rumor on Plunder. I don't know what Plunder is. That he may have pushed her off a cliff.
A lot of people are speculating on things like that, and there
just
are certainly
depends on
cliffs there, but
there are some. I mean, it just depends. These national parks, the access is very controlled. I mean, there are some, but it's not as simple as that.
Yeah.
What are we getting here? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just more commentary. If you guys want to, you can, the subtitles are on so you can read it, but it's just commentary, kind of like what we're doing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. The missing Indigenous women stuff is really hard and painful. It is. But that's why we have to keep doing it. And that's why we want this kind of response on every missing woman.
Yeah.
Not just the white blonde ones, Yeah.
Imagine the fire that is under law enforcement right now with this case. They
Yeah.
are being overwhelmed with leads. I read today that the FBI and the North Point Police Department both are absolutely overwhelmed with leads, people that saw them, in the Teton Valley area. Some
Well,
people that
sure.
have been totally unable to even get through to law enforcement and are doing things like making TikToks and stuff like that to get, their story out there because they want everyone to know what's going
Well,
on.
something's
Okay.
happening. Okay, so they're looking in a car. And in a trunk. Okay, so they're searching this car.
So
And this is a car that was parked at the house. This is not a police, obviously not a police car, but
No, it's a silver sports car. I wish I was sports car wise enough to tell you what it is, but I don't know.
I don't either. I know some guys that can tell you real fast.
I was going to say my husband would be horrified, but
Oh,
I
yeah, he
don't
would know in
know.
a second.
So we still have one officer kind of standing watch over the crowd, and then we have two that are searching this car.
Yeah. Okay. So my sense of this is that they've come with a warrant looking for some very specific items.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got.
It's a Mustang convertible.
Oh, a Mustang convertible.
Sorry for sucking.
Cars not necessarily my thing. We just got a new car and my wife was like, well, what kind of car do you want? I don't know, a nice one. Like, I don't have like a brand of car or make of car that I have to have. Did they find anything? I can't tell really.
I'm not sure
if they pulled anything out of there or not. But that's what, sometimes search warrants are very broad and sometimes they're very specific. And this appears to me to be of the specific variety. What are those lights? Those are lights from reporters. They're taking pictures.
Oh.
I keep switching back to where I have this on my monitor because this for us is so small in our streaming platform. So I keep switching back to the other one because I can see a lot better. Can you imagine being the neighbors right here, right now?
No.
I bet they are so sick of this. I bet they all want them to just go talk to the friggin' police and quit with this crap. Yeah, and it does, the parents are taking a big risk here.
Yes.
If he did something and they're basically harboring him and protecting him, that's...
Well, and whose car is that? Whose car is that? And why did they search it? I mean, their search warrant had to have included that. So why? Whose car is that?
But what specifically are they looking for?
I didn't spend much time in it, but
they didn't. I have no doubt that they're looking for her phone, at least, because they don't have it, and that's something that they need,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, at least as of 2 days ago, they didn't have it.
Yeah, as far as what we know of what's been reported.
Unless it was in the van, but I would be surprised if it was. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think it was. I think it was after that I heard that they didn't have it.
Didn't have it, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to take a break again. So, oh, wait. Maybe she's going to stay up here.
North Point Police tweeted they are not talking to Brian. See, that's what I'm wondering, if Brian's not even there, but they're just conducting a search. And also helping to control the crowd because obviously there is a pretty good one.
Yeah. Well, but it seems that they did find something because they went back and got an evidence bag out of the car.
Bag. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's possible if they had reason to believe that the phone was at that house.
Right.
I mean, whatever's going on here, this kid doesn't seem like a seasoned criminal. He's He's an
No.
idiot and he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. And why would they be looking in that car for her phone? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, the way that warrants are written, often they do include any vehicles on the property. So it may just have been cursory.
Yeah.
To look.
Yeah. Now, someone just tweeted that it was on the police scanner there that the cars on that street are going to start getting towed. So the protesters there need to be very careful.
Yeah, they're going to want to break this crowd up. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it'll be that or keep a police detail there all night because I don't think these people are going anywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Well, in the press, I mean, they have every right to be there.
Yeah.
They can't really force them out. But the protesters, they, depending on what the laws are in this city, what the what the city ordinances and stuff. But I'm 100% sure they can't be standing on their property. That's just kind of that's a standard.
No. And nobody.
True crime YouTube channel is what Plunder is. Oh, it's a YouTube channel. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So let's see. Sorry, just checking a couple of things. And Erin, you're correct. She said, for the sake of fairness, many things could have happened to Gabby, but that's exactly why Brian needs to talk to the police. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, that's just the thing. Why? Okay, looks like they're going to cover something else for a little while, so I'm going to just pull this for now. And it's true. But if accidental things had happened to her, why did he not call the police where he was?
Absolutely.
It's sketchy behavior to then go all the way as far across the United States as you can get from Idaho and not say anything. And if there was an accident and she was injured, didn't seek out any kind of medical help.
Yeah.
Didn't report anything to the police. I mean, I don't know. That's just too sketchy for me.
Yeah. Yeah, good point, Jessica. She said it used to be the protesters would be at the police station to work them harder, not at the person's home.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to, basically force Brian and his family to come out and speak up.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, particularly suspicious because he had convinced the Moab police that Gabby was overly emotional and all the problems stemmed from her mental health. Right. Yeah. So ridiculous there. So typical. Like, man, those police officers needed some training.
Yeah.
They've obviously not had much domestic violence training because, man, they just bought what he had to say without any question.
Yeah.
I'm going to check on some other sources here, just see what we might have coming up.
So we'll keep an eye out because there was talk that there could be a presser still tonight and then that it was completely canceled. So we're not entirely sure on that, but we'll keep a really close eye on it.
Yeah, it got moved back, and then the last that we heard was that it was canceled completely. Okay. A reporter has tweeted that the Northport PD have confirmed that they are there to talk to Brian's parents, and that they had agreed to talk to them, but he is not there.
Yeah. So where is Brian?
Right.
His family is going to great lengths to protect him, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Now, some people are saying that the thing that they took out of the trunk, which happened really fast and we didn't really get to see, looked like a phone.
Did it? I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
It's hard to
We'll have to
see.
take that footage and pick it apart with technology in order to see that. But
yeah. Looks like the live stream here is back to this case.
okay, it does. I'm looking at the live stream slowed down by someone who's there.
Okay.
And it definitely looks like the officer took, not from the trunk, but from the front seat of the car, a phone out and put it in his pocket.
Okay. Good. Good. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Galaxy, where is he? Is there concern he could take his own life? That's a very valid question.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Very interesting. Yeah. So we'll see. Clearly, it's starting to get dark over there, and we'll see what happens. Obviously, we were hoping for some movement tonight, and maybe there still will be, but it looks to me like at this point right now, there's probably not a whole lot more to see.
No, and it looks like from what I'm seeing is that the parents actually made the request to speak to the police, that it came from them.
Well,
so
okay.
that's
I mean,
some
yes, but
motion.
they're gathering evidence while they're there, so
They are, but they could also be giving permission at this point too.
True.
But they may also have shown up with a warrant. We don't know. Either way, they seem to be able to do some searching. And man, if that was her phone, I really hope that was her phone. But if so, why was it in the trunk of that car?
Yeah, well, it wasn't in the trunk.
Oh,
it was in
back seat.
Looked like the front seat.
Oh, did it look like the front seat?
Center console. Maybe that wasn't even her phone, but yeah.
But it was a phone.
Like interesting. It was a phone. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what do you think? Do you want to keep rolling on this, or do we just?
I think we've seen what there is to see at this point. Obviously, something more happens tonight, we'll definitely come back. But
yeah,
it looks to me like we've probably seen what we're going to see now. But it is. I mean, notwithstanding, whether they've have seen anything at this point or not. It's still very interesting that the press conference was scheduled and then postponed and then canceled. And then the police show up at Landry's house or at Laundrie's house. Landry?
I don't know. I've been saying Laundrie.
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
Well, and see, there was supposed to be a vigil for Gabby tonight too. Right before all this went down, there was a vigil.
Yes.
There was supposed to be a vigil, but I don't know if that's happened because all these people are here. Maybe instead of there.
Yeah. Well, good on the Floridians, I guess, for fighting the good fight. And we'll keep our finger on people that, the sightings that we're hearing about here in this area, too, and be sure that we report those.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll just keep holding the energy high that Gabby is found soon.
Yes.
Who was to hold the presser? It was in the Grand Teton National Park. It was the authorities here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who, have their boots on the ground. There's a lot of reports, by the way, from people that live up in that area that there is a ton of air traffic right now, that they're seeing tons of helicopters and, search and rescue type vehicles, aerial vehicles doing searches. So that's
and
interesting. Wow.
a lot of this terrain, that's how you have to search it.
Yeah.
Is from above.
Yeah. Yeah. All righties. Well, guys, we'll keep you posted. If anything else goes down, we'll be here. We'll see what happens. But we'll, wish you guys a happy Friday night and hope that you also get to do something fun. So This has been yet another production of True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Take care.
Bye, guys.